Hello and welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Jackson County. Today we've got a subject that is very near and dear to my heart. Being the owner and the proprietor of the GI Museum in Goshen, Mississippi, veterans and their stories are very close to me. And we have some folks in the studio here. Mrs. Kimberly Foster, she is the president of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight, and Jodi Bowers, who is the vice president of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight. Ladies, welcome to the studio. Hats off to you for what you're doing. My apologies for not participating in any more meetings, but my life has been kind of strained lately, but I promise you I'll help when I can. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's begin. Kimberly, you're the president of Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight. Tell us what the purpose of this organization is.
The purpose is that it was set up to take veterans, World War II veterans, up to the memorial in Washington, D.C. It started out that the memorial wasn't done until 2004, and a lot of veterans now don't have the ability to get up there, the mobility, the time, or the money, and so it's a way for veterans to go up and see their memorial at no cost to them, and all the transportation, everything will be provided.
And that's very important because we're losing them at the rate of about 1,500 a day. And I know you'll agree with me, the World War II generation is probably the greatest generation out there because of what they had to go and do. Not only the people who went and fought in the fields, but the people who were back home, the home front. Rosie the Riveter, the welders, the people who worked in the factories, and just the families who were back home, what they had to go through in order for us to win that war against tyranny. That was fantastic what they did.
Right.
So you're trying to get this flight together, and it's going to take money.
It takes about $75,000 per flight. That's based on 149 people going, so there'll be volunteers, guardians, and veterans. Probably about 85 to 90 veterans, and that will be World War II veterans. What we do is, first, just to explain kind of what happens, is that the veterans are chosen, they're checked out on their application whether or not they're medically fit to go. They'll be told that they're going. We'll have an orientation a couple weeks prior to the trip, tell them what to expect, and then the day of the flight we'll leave very early from Gulfport on a charter plane. Again, the plane will leave maybe 7 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. We'll get into Washington Airport, Reagan International Airport. We'll go see the World War II Memorial. Then we'll go to the Lincoln Memorial, which also the Korean War Memorial and the Vietnam Memorial are right there. Then we'll go past or to the Iwo Jima Memorial, depending on time. And then we go to Arlington Cemetery, watch the changing of the guards, and we can present the wreath at the changing of the guards. And all that happens in one day. And then we go back to the airport and then come back to Gulfport. So it's a busy day, filled day, but just a very exciting day for the veterans.
And how do they feel about this? This is the first for Mississippi that y'all are doing, right?
Yes. Mississippi does not have an honor flight hub yet. Louisiana has them. Alabama has several. So in the past, maybe a veteran might have went with Louisiana or with South Alabama. One or two may have been chosen, but there's a lot of veterans who want to go here locally. And so this will be the first opportunity for Mississippi to have its own honor flight hub.
And this is called a hub?
It's a hub, yeah.
Okay. This is called a hub. And Jodi, can you tell us about, you're the vice president of the organization.
Mm-hmm. I'm responsible for all the applications that come in. I track those. They are done in order that they come in. They're numbered. We say that the veterans are chosen. The only criteria is that they're physically able to fly. That's it. That would be the only reason that a veteran wouldn't be able to make the flight. Otherwise, everything's numbered as it comes in, and it's just simply getting your application in and being able to go.
And the applications are available online?
I do have them online. I have an email address, mgchonorflight@gmail.com. A simple email, let me know that you're interested, and I can send you the link and a paper application if that's better.
And some people don't have a computer.
Some people don't. Yes, we have come across that.
And are the applications available anywhere in the county, or do y'all make those available at any location, or can they get somebody to email you and you'll send it to them in the mail?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can send it, I can put it in the mail, I can email it, whatever, however we need to get that vet, the application, we'll do whatever we have to.
Okay.
If I have to drop it off, I'll do that.
You seem very dedicated to it, both of you. So how close are we to this happening? I know you're just getting started and you're raising money, and how close are we to having our first flight?
Donations are coming in right now. We just kind of opened it up for donations, and so the amount of funds we have right now obviously would not get us there, but we are shooting for a May flight, and we do believe it can happen. Some of the money that is raised, the guardians pay their own way to go on the trip, which guardians are chosen. They can put in their application, they can go to the same email address and request an application to become a guardian. That cost is going to be approximately $500. It is a working trip for a guardian because they're going to help. So that'll help pay some of the cost for the trip, but then we still need to raise probably about $55,000 for each trip. And we do want to take our first trip in May.
The amount of guardians that go depends on how many ambulatory veterans we have, whether they're in wheelchairs, scooters, canes, or if they are completely mobile on their own. Depends on how many guardians go and how many veterans are assigned to each guardian.
Okay, so depending upon the veteran's ability to get around will depend on how many
Yes.
guardians go on the flight.
Yes.
Right.
And that's just to be determined by the veterans who apply and go on the flight.
Right. We have, we will have a doctor that will go over the applications. They list the medications that they're on, and there may need to be a call from the doctor to a veteran just to get some clarification on how mobile that person is or how sick, if they are in fact sick. The doctor goes over the applications, and at the orientation we actually get to set eyes on these people, make sure that they are capable of travel. And then orientation is the final, this is it, you're able to go. We do have backups in case of, a vet gets sick and can't make it. It will be a full flight.
Okay.
Up to the travel to the airplane, we have a backup person that even travels to the airplane with us in case something happens.
Are you looking for any RNs to volunteer to be
Yes.
guardians?
They can. They absolutely can. We have some medical people who are going to volunteer because we will have a doctor on the plane, we will have a nurse, and we'll have EMTs or something like that on the plane with us who are going to volunteer. But anybody else who wants to be a guardian can volunteer. It's a great opportunity. I went with South Alabama on their flight, the last flight, and it was a wonderful experience for me.
So that's how you became interested in bringing this to Mississippi?
Actually, I had heard about it before from one of my clients who is involved with South Alabama, and so I went on the trip in September just to see what it was all about and if it's something that I thought that we could bring here or if it was going to be too much of an undertaking, but it looked like something we could bring here, so that's why I went in September.
And we were talking before the show started, and your veteran was Mr. Chuck Wheeler.
Yes.
And Chuck Wheeler's no stranger to WKFK because he's been on Local Heroes, and we have 2 shows that are in production with him now, and he is just an absolute treasure. He is an encyclopedia that's walking around, and he can tell you almost anything you want to know about the Navy, and particularly World War II. And I don't want to give away the other show that we did with him, but that's going to be something you don't want to miss on Local Heroes. So you had the firsthand experience, and how do these guys feel about this? Since you had the firsthand experience with it, you've been on the flight. How do they feel about somebody doing this for them?
Most of the veterans are overwhelmed that we want to help them. We want to take them there. We want to do this. I mean, they are the whole time during orientation, all they're doing is thanking us for our time, thanking us for doing this, thanking us for everything. And I think what they need to know is we thank them so much for this. the whole time. I mean, there are veterans there who didn't even know they're going on the trip until the day before orientation, who literally, their wives tell us they cried the whole time. They were that excited. Couldn't sleep at night. You know, the day of orientation, it starts 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. People are there early. The day of the flight, in Mobile, they left at 5. Everyone's supposed to be there at 5 o'clock. People show up at 4. I mean, they're so excited about the whole experience. And then on the plane, you know, they're all talking the whole time. Even on the way back after such a long, long day, all the veterans are just talking and so excited about the whole experience that it's just, it is so worthwhile. There's nothing that can compare to it.
Yeah. Well, these guys, these World War II veterans, were probably some of the most humble veterans that I've ever met. They just went and did what they had to do, and they said, I didn't do anything special, just went and did my job. And then they came home, they started families, they went to work, and really they kind of just blended into society, and they never had a memorial. They never really had a whole lot of people bragging on them or thanking them. And it's time. It's really time.
It is, absolutely.
It's really time to do that.
And we need to do it before it's too late.
Yes.
I mean, when you think the average veteran, anywhere from 85 to 95, you know, it's just time, because we don't have a whole lot of time to honor them the way we should.
Well, we're going to take a short break here, and we're going to come back, and we're going to let you find out how you can help honor these veterans and help them get to their memorial in Washington. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Spotlight on Jackson County. We're talking about a very important subject here. It's the Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight. Some people have gotten together, and they're working very hard to get our World War II veterans from Mississippi to Washington, D.C. to see their World War II memorial. Folks, we're running out of time, and they need your help and my help and anybody else that's wanting to help and honor these veterans. And we have Kimberly Foster, who is the president of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight, and Jodi Bowers, who is the vice president of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight. We were talking about donations and how can people donate. Can they just write a check and send it to an address? You have an address where they can send it to?
We do. We have an address. It's P.O. Box 1912, Goshen, Mississippi 39553. And any amount is accepted.
So if you can write a $5, $10, $25, $50, $1,000, or $55,000 check, please send it to the address that you see on the screen there. And if you are a member of a corporate organization and you think you can help with this, I can't think of a more worthy cause than this cause, and it's honoring our World War II veterans, the greatest generation, the people who saved the world for democracy. I wouldn't be sitting here today having this conversation on this television studio, on this TV station, if those guys hadn't gone and done what they did for the world and the America in World War II. So step up to the plate if you can. No donation is too small. If you can only afford $1, put it in an envelope, please, and send it to that address that you see on the screen. Now, we were talking about applications. You got a web address that they can go to, but sometimes people do not have computers. So, Kimberly, there was a possibility.
I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and put applications at the Caldwell Banker United Realtor building in Lucedale, Ocean Springs, and Goshen. And so if they go to Caldwell Banker United Realtors, we'll have applications there that they can pick up, and then they can also bring them back to that location if they want, and that we'll make sure we get them. So that would be a good option for people who don't have email, who just want to go pick up an application and have it in hand. That would be the best solution, is that they'll be at the Lucedale office, the Ocean Springs office, and the Goshen office.
Or they can mail them back to the address that we gave.
Oh, yeah.
The P.O. Box.
The P.O. Box. And you're shooting for May.
Yes.
Any reason why you chose May? Is it like Memorial Day, something
May
there?
May the temperature is still very nice in
Yes.
Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And school is still in session, so it's less busy for one thing.
Great time, yes.
And so if we pick them, we'll probably do it in the middle of the week,
Okay.
which makes it a very good time. We want easy commute. We want them to be on the bus as little as possible so they can enjoy the memorials and take that time. And then the other thing is, July and August is very hot. So hopefully we'll do one in May and then we'll do another one in September. Because our goal is to do it until there's nobody else who needs to go. That's what we want to do.
Well, you two have certainly shown me that you're dedicated, and I'm sure there are a whole lot more members of this committee. How many people have you got total that are working on this? I know you got to have a president and a vice president.
We
but you
have
probably
a
got
good 30 people, maybe 40 people that
Involved.
are meeting. We meet on a regular basis. Matter of fact, we have a meeting on Thursday at the Coldwell Banker office in Ocean Springs, right off. It's just south of Exit 50, on the right, past Lemoyne Boulevard, at 6 o'clock.
That's
And
this Thursday.
This
Is this Thursday at 6 o'clock at the Coldwell Banker in Ocean Springs. Anybody that is willing to volunteer their time and come out and help us is welcome to come and participate.
So if someone has a father or an uncle, and they're a World War II veteran, they can bring their could they bring their father or
Absolutely.
bring their uncle to the meeting so they can see what's going on?
Absolutely.
And they can also volunteer at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And write
And they can make a donation while they're there.
Write a check at the same time, or they'll take cash. Any amount of monetary assistance that anybody can give is very much appreciated. We've got to do this. We've got to get these people up there to see. It's their memorial, and there's a section that's Mississippi on there,
That's right.
and you've actually seen it.
Right. And it is just so heartwarming to see the veterans go up to the memorial, to be able to touch it. It goes Mississippi and then Alabama is the order that those go. And so when I was there the last time, I saw the Mississippi, and Alabama's right next to it. But when you see them and you see just the look on their face, it's just priceless. I mean, they go back to stories that they may not have told anybody for 50 years, and they need to see it.
Well, it's America's time to say thank you, and it's our time to say thank you with this honor flight. And I can't express how grateful I am that you are forming this organization. I guess these guys were thanked maybe individually, but the nation never had a memorial for World War II.
It's long
Makes
overdue.
me wonder why it took so long, but I know that bureaucracy and where to build it and all of that came into play, plus how to finance it. But Mississippi is one of the few states that don't have an honor flight.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, let's get up off of the last number here in the nation and try to make this happen. And again, if you want to donate, and if Stephen, my director, can give me that address one more time on the screen, you can write a check and send it to this address that you see on the screen, and any amount of money that you can afford. I know times are bad and the economy's not that good, but even $1 would help. Even $1 would help. So we're shooting for May. Obviously, y'all are going to be on the flight.
Yes,
yes.
probably so.
Could take
We're
a lot
looking
of
forward to it.
pictures.
And we will pay our own way.
Oh, yeah.
We are
yeah.
not going at anyone's expense. We are paying our own way to go.
Let's hope this is well documented, and let's hope that there are a lot of photographs, maybe videotape or something that'll come back so that we can show the rest of the nation Mississippi is stepping up, and we're taking our World War II veterans to Washington, D.C. to see their World War II memorial. And great that y'all are doing this. Anybody from the corporate realm stepped up yet, or have you even gotten to that? You just got started.
We just got started, so we wanted to establish our core group, establish the volunteers, make sure we had enough participation to even make it happen before we ask for any donations. So I think in the next few weeks we're going to go around to some of the corporations that we have here that we feel can help us.
I think there's going to be a lot of assistance. I think everybody's going to do something. We're highly into the Navy here with Northrop Grumman. We have a military history on the coast with Keesler Air Force Base, the CB Center. We had Gulfport Field in World War II. We had Keesler Field in World War II. We had, whether you know it or not, we had a coastal artillery battery on the beaches of Pascagoula, Mississippi. You had 320 people encamped at the beach park that ran the guns that were all along those 3 coastal artillery batteries. So the coast has a rich military history dating all the way back, past the Civil War. So I think once the word gets out and we have more awareness, I think you're really going to do well. I really do. Is there anything else you want to present and give our viewers out there?
Help us make it happen. We want it to happen so bad. I mean, there's so many people that are sending applications in, and they deserve to go. This is so long overdue. They deserve this.
And these applications are coming in mainly from just Jackson County, or are they
no,
all along the coast?
I've received applications from Petal, Hattiesburg, Gaucher, one from D'Iberville. They're coming in from everywhere, and it's. This isn't just to ask for donations either. This is to tell our veterans that, hey, we want to do this for you. Please pick up an application, and we want to meet you. We want to take you to see your memorial. So
if a veteran's relative is watching this show and he lives in Tupelo, Mississippi,
he can put in an application. It's for
absolutely
all of Mississippi.
It is not just for the Gulf Coast.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. This is World War II veterans right now.
Yes.
Right now. Maybe someday there will be an honor flight for people to go see the Vietnam Veterans Memorial or the Korean
War
Memorial. But right now the push, and rightly so, is World War II, because we're losing at such a fast pace. And you were saying how appreciative the veterans are when they come to the meetings and they're learning that y'all are doing this, and they just can't believe that somebody's doing this for them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're very humble. It's been my experience to see that they're very humble, but I'm so glad that y'all are doing it. So anybody from the state of Mississippi, folks, anybody from the state. So if you have a relative that lives in Jackson or North or all the way wherever it is in Mississippi, they can put in an application, and they will have to get down here to Gulfport.
Right.
Yes.
And will they have to come to an orientation?
They'll have to come to an orientation about 2 weeks prior to the trip.
Okay. They can make that happen.
They can make that happen.
So it's not limited to just the coast or Jackson County. It's the state of Mississippi. Another first, okay, and Jackson County is initiating it. It makes me proud of Jackson County and the people that are here that are doing these kinds of things. It really does.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. We really do appreciate what's going on. One more time, if you want to donate, no matter what the level is, this address on the screen, please reach into your pocket and your heart, because these people really do appreciate it. Trust me, I've met a lot of them, talked to a lot of them, and they're all good friends of mine. So help them out if you can, and help Kimberly Foster and Jodi Bowers of the Mississippi Gulf Coast Honor Flight make this happen for our veterans. And let's not make this the only one. Let's make this the first of many. But we got to get going on it now, right?
Right.
Yes.
Ladies, I really do appreciate your time. You got to come back in about a month and give us an update.
We will.
Sure will.
Okay? And I'm going to try to make your meeting this Thursday at Coldwell Banker in Ocean Springs. Hopefully, nothing catastrophic will happen in the meantime. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching this very special edition of Spotlight on Jackson County. We'll see you again next time.